In a life where headphones wires keep twisting together, is it a coincidence that 97,000 kilometers long blood vessels never get tangled? You discover you can talk to and summon spirits. You summon one, and they appear before you, brutalized and beaten. She pleads with you not to send her back. You ask her what happens after you die, and she begins to cry. She asks if you know what Gehenna is, and you tell her no. She describes horrific torture and brutalization. She says God is angry. She tells you God damns every single soul because of the way humanity warps their words for evil. She begs you not to send her back, to let her roam Earth. She tells you ghosts and escaped souls, and she wishes to be one. You set her free out of a deep sadness for her story. She reveals her horns. You have unshackled a demon. There will be blood on your hands. Even if not everyone is damned, you certainly now are. When you're 5 seconds from dying in a car accident. When you're 5 seconds from dying in a plane crash. When it's been 1 week since you've been released from your 20-year prison sentence for a crime you did not commit. You lose all hope when you realize there are 5 people tied up on the opposite train tracks. You get ready for your LASIK surgery. Zombie fans when a zombie apocalypse finally starts, but instead of being an instantaneous overnight disaster, it's an exponentially building plague that destroys society and everything they know and love over the course of several weeks. Point of view: you've been trying to make it back to camp, but all you have to light the way is your camera flash. You've been researching a series of anomalous earthquakes across North America when you get a radio message from one of your superiors. Get out. It isn't geological, it's biological. You are the new guy in class. Friend circles exist already. Finding your way in there is rather hard. You're mostly alone, but don't really mind it. The popular girl in class comes up to you randomly. Everyone has her obvious crush on her. What does she want? She's actually friendly and open to you. She chats a bit with you, and you find out you have a few things in common, even sharing a favorite musician. You exchange contacts with her. You're not really alone anymore, and made your first friend. A few weeks passed by, and she's as king as usual. You chat a lot, you laugh a lot, you don't think too much into this, and enjoy her company. You two grabbed a coffee after school. You walk her to her home, to make sure she gets there safely. Next day at school, people are weird. They stare, they laugh, they point at you. They all laugh at their phones. The always soaking girl too, standing with her friends, laughing like the others. She played you. She gathered all your cringe messages and spread them in the group chat. They laugh at your feelings. They laugh at your thoughts. They won't stop laughing at you. They make fun of you for the entire time you are at this school. You don't reply. You play deaf, but they find it amusing. Teachers won't help. Your bullies say sorry. That's it. They keep going. Have fun at school. I got hired as a caretaker for a wealthy couple's dogs while they're away on vacation. They offer me a drink and detail my list of duties. They show me to the room they keep the dogs, but there are no dogs here, nor anything at all, and I'm starting to feel strange. I haven't eaten in days and they won't stop beating me. Your arm starts to itch. It continues for weeks on end. You go to the doctor, you feel in good hands. He diagnoses you with lymph cancer, spread through your entire arm. Your arm must be amputated. Even with no arm, the itch is still there, but you can't and will never be able to scratch it again. The itch will forever taunt you. When the girl I trapped in my basement for a 57-hour lecture on why the ocean is cool begs me for water, am I finally getting tough? Point of view: it's 5:35 am, 5 minutes after you read the message. I know you're awake, written on your wall. You finally build up enough courage to run to the door. Unfortunately, you have made too much movement. You hear it quickly arise from under your bed. My face when I try out my real life save state device that I can use to quick save during my life so that in case I die, it can load me back to that point. I will experience a fatal heart attack in approximately 8 seconds. Me falling through a portal indefinitely, because if anyone attempted to pull me out I would hit the ground at a high enough velocity to instantly kill me. They all blocked you. Your friends, your family. You'll never know why, because nobody made a single attempt to get your side of the story. You will be alone forever without a clue as to what you've done. My house is 1/4 inch bigger on the inside than on the outside. Why is it bigger? Why is it bigger? Why is it bigger? When the alien invaders finally exterminated the last human resistance cell, they proceeded to target more primitive life forms on Earth for study. The creatures that humans call chimps are similar to them and should be of no difficulty to apprehend. And look, he's being friendly. You find a cool looking cylinder and bring it home in your back pocket. You take some pictures of it, but they come out weird. You start to feel nauseous and vomit. You notice there's blood in it. You've never felt this sick before. Your whole family seems affected. Me going on distressing memes at night to get a little spook, only to end up with a sleepless night of existential dread. The gun store owner watching me take a single 12 gauge shell out of my pocket after being handed a shotgun. Dead people, afterlife, nothingness. As an immortal, you aren't scared of messing with the cartel. They chain you to a chair and toss you into the asphalt pit. Point of view, your immune system found out your eyes exist. You are happy as you see how excited your dog is when you get ready for your trip to Yellowstone National Park. While getting out of the car you failed to hold your dog back as he jumped out of the car and ran straight into one of the boiling hot lakes. You can do nothing but watch as he screams in agony, dying one of the most painful deaths imaginable. Point of view, you're a judge who granted sole custody of 3 children to this man's ex-wife earlier today. 20-year-old me jumping into a small lake my friends have found. 30-year-old accepting the fact that I'll never move without a wheelchair due to my past mistakes. When the asteroid takes us out of orbit. In nature, predators often camouflage themselves from prey, like the copperhead, or the trapdoor spider, and others. Point of view, you're 93 years old, you don't know where you are right now, but a woman just came into your room. She says she's your daughter, but you've never seen her in your whole life. Actually, I don't think I've known anyone before. That's strange. Where am I again? Whatever, I'll suppose I'll just head to my B. Oh my, there's a young lady next to me who seems to be upset. What's wrong, young woman? When you die and arrive in heaven, only to be ordered by angels to join countless souls in the eternal construction of chains to restrain God. I feel like eating some beef today. Clueless. 131 days left. I've been feeling really distant, sad and melancholic lately, as if I was always tired. 54 days left. It's been weeks since I've had a good night's rest. It's so hard to sleep when they are all around you, creeping ever closer when your eyelids meet. 8 days left. I cannot see. I cannot hear. I can barely move, and I must scream. 0 days left. What you just witnessed was a classic case of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, formerly known as the mad cow disease. It is transmitted by prions, which are faulty proteins that multiply inside of your brain, taking over, tearing holes into it, and ceasing all of its vital functions. The disease is most commonly transmitted by eating the meat of cows with said disease. Do you live in any of the areas marked as dark green? Here's a friendly reminder that you might not live to see next year. You thought being hanged and immediately decapitated as part of your town's annual rituals would lead to a glorious afterlife in paradise, but your brain refused to rot away. The proteins preserved well enough to still elicit immune response and your mind refused to let go. Instead you were buried and refused to rot away for 3,000 years. And then, the scientists found you. Heralded as a miracle, they began to examine you with their tools, their sharp tools. My furry friend sent me a package. I haven't heard from him since he tried on the fursuit I got for him. Wow. He got me my very own fursuit. I'm not a furry, but it'd be rude of me to not try it on. I'm kind of excited. I'm still alive, but I can't move, and I'm having trouble breathing and my stomach feels weird. Me in bed, after finishing my bedtime prayer, when I suddenly hear the tormented voice of my deceased grandfather go, "Live your life in sin. Enjoy life while you can. Everybody goes to hell and burns for all eternity anyway." The paint is slowly killing you. You've been taken from your home and shoved into a painted shell. You're stuffed in a tiny cage with your brothers, who are also wearing those ugly and unnatural shells. You can feel the fumes choking you. The paint is starting to flake off. The paint is falling into your mouth. There is no hope. When you wake up unexpectedly and they aren't able to render the simulation in time. When you thought you were going to have easy prey, but instead you got captured and turned into a pet/slave by this human with a lot of messed up fetishes. When it's been nearly a week in the backrooms, but there is no entities, you can't no-clip to other levels, no settlements or travelers like the wiki said, it's just the unending loneliness, the distant sounds that you aren't sure are real and the constant buzzing driving you crazy. Remembering your childhood imaginary friends. They were based on your favorite cartoons and looked like them too. You could hear their voices in your head and they'd comfort you while you were being abused. Sometimes they'd say they'd be here instead when things got really bad and you black out for hours, days, or weeks at a time. Come to think of it, other than that, you remember almost nothing about your childhood at all. Deciding that, whatever that was, it doesn't matter because you're a safe and happy adult now. Therapist. So, have you ever heard of dissociative identity disorder? Me laying on the ground in fake blood to prank my girlfriend. Girlfriend walks in on her phone. I thought you said you were gonna kill him tomorrow. Me. Called the cops after my wife assaulted me. Police. She's like half your size. There's no way she did that. Me. Discover the Higgs field using the Large Hadron Collider to find out how the Higgs field gives atoms their mass. 3. Decide to give the Higgs field a push to the true vacuum state. That feeling when you're watching some dude's live stream and he gets off the phone and goes, "Hey guys, I guess that's it." You really should change the batteries on the CO detector. It's fine. I'll do it tomorrow. Today's the day. Today's the day you get to find out what's on the other side. Today's the day you get to be free of this place 13 years on death row. You'd volunteer to go to hell just for a change of scenery. As the CO walks you to the execution chamber, you think about your life, your successes, your failures, things you wish you'd done differently. But as they start to inject you, you only have one thought going through your head. I hope they find the guy that actually did it. Hey MacArthur, what can I do for? I'm gonna get right to the point, Truman. I need 50 nooks to drop along the Korean border. MacArthur was a goofy little dude, a quirked up white boy, a hecking wholesome special guy. My intestine itches. Panic. Don't worry, I'll scratch it. Calm. Don't worry, I'll scratch it. Panic. My face when I learned the uncanny valley is likely just a leftover instinct from When we shared the earth with Neanderthals, the disappointment from a lack of mimic-like hunter of humanity somehow overrides the fear of such a thing existing. Forced to face the truth. Illusion of safety. You've been running for hours and can still hear them. You cannot escape the four-dimensional. Grab that cop's gun. It's right there. It would be so easy. Can't wait to explore my first cave. Man, this is fun. I can't breathe. It's getting tighter. My bones are snapping. Point of view, me on vacation in Mexico confronting a local because he stared at me. Also me 3 hours later. Me meets a nice and pretty girl. Also that girl after I fall asleep during our first sleepover. You see your first deer while hunting. It smashes its own head open on a rock and starts licking its brain matter. The year is 2043. Humans have figured out a way to keep you alive without your body as a form of torture. You're only the nervous system. You exist, but you can't see, hear, feel, or scream. You only have your thoughts, and they're getting crazier every day. You continue to live in agony for the rest of your life. When that car behind you took the same turn as you for the 4th time. After a malfunction, your time machine breaks and you go out to gather supplies in some forest. At night, you come across what looks like a warped tree and decide to inspect it up close with your flashlight. You realize there is no bark on it, but fur instead. You hear 2 clops from above you. You live in a small quiet town in 1985 USA. A young man just came out gay. You don't understand, so you and your friends bully him. You heard gunfire. Not even his family is sad. In fact, they're happy. My face when I wake up to the sound of an airplane getting louder and louder. The nearest airport is 282 miles away. Pro-war mother duckers when their legs are blown off and they scream for their mother. She will not come, and they died for nothing. Point of view, you're a child welfare social worker and a strange girl is brought to your attention, who you and your coworkers think has autism. You soon find out that she was locked in a room for 13 years, bound to a crib with no interaction or stimulation, and has the cognitive level of a 1-year-old. Ohio is funny. No, Ohio isn't funny at all. There is microplastics in your blood that can break your brain barrier. Big companies are responsible for 70% of pollution worldwide. Point of view, the weather has been particularly nasty all week. You work from home so haven't left your house for 3 days. Suddenly you hear scratching on the door. Scratching, crying, and whimpering. It sounds like your mother, but that can't be. She died years ago. You of all people ought to know, because it was you who buried her in the backyard. All the calculations were correct. The ship was perfectly capable of traveling through folded space. But unfortunately, the human psyche was not. When you're in the park pushing your newborn in a stroller and suddenly a man with a hat asks, "Password?" and you jokingly respond apples, before he hands you a bag that contains 12 kilograms of Peruvian cocaine and hurriedly jogs away. Japanese scientists in the 1930s finding out that babies tend to die when you dunk them in liquid nitrogen. I witnessed the end of the human race. I saw their cities crumble to dust. My friends, gone for 100,000 years. Why don't God let me die? The girl you like. Her best friend. The creature that's been stalking you for quite some time and will kill the girl if you let her into your life. You. When I finally die after months of torture by the enemy, only to wake up to someone saying it worked. You should never have gone outside. The humans are now torturing and beating you with stones and sticks. You hear somebody starting a fire as you're placed in a bag. I'm not bad luck. Step 1. Create a machine that makes you smarter. Step 2. Use it. Step 3. Get a brain tumor instead. Dizziness ensues. Waking up from clinical death. There is no heaven nor emptiness, only constant inhuman horrors. I must choose whether to give people the false hope of a heaven or reveal the dark reality that awaits us all. I once saw the face of God, a vast and sudden silence among the noisy heavens. That evening I dreamt I listened to one side of a conversation I should not have overheard. I do not watch the skies and more. I do not look up. My face when I try to commit suicide, but instead of dying I leave myself in a near vegetative state watching as the family that once loved me grows to resent me. You make the most important discovery in astrophysics ever. It's staring at you. It's coming to Earth. You have no power to stop it. Your son has been depressed, resentful and rebellious. He says he wants to go to therapy, but what he really needs is some of that old school parenting your father gave you. After all, it made you the man you are. The next time he opens his mouth you'll put an end to that new age snowflake attitude. Why can't he just be the little boy you loved? This was supposed to make him stronger. You didn't mean to hit him that hard, but you just lost control. Cradling him and begging for him to wake up for what must have been hours you realized he has always been that little boy. VTuber hostage situation. Do you think we're ducking around? Bang bang bang. Eerie silence. I'm sure they're fine. After being rejected from normal society and your direct peers you've been pushed into the virtual world of gaming. There you can be whatever you want. But that damn black load screen appears, and you see your own reflection again in the screen. It dawns on you, what you are there will never exist here. The girl you like, her father, her brother, her ex, the creature stalking her for 4 years since the accident that altered her life forever. You. Point of view, reincarnation is real. I pointed the gun to the bastard who killed my wife. After all, he won't know anything. He was only born a few minutes ago. After half an hour of chase, the suspect finally pulls out of the car and runs into a house. You and your squad head in, and when you see him leaning out from behind a door, assault rifle in hand, you quickly fire, putting the suspect down. Shortly after, you hear a bedroom door open and a boy calling dad. I see a man chasing after a woman and child while screaming. I manage to take him down and call the police. A bit after the police arrive everyone gets mad at you. It turns out he was the father and didn't know the woman who was dragging his toddler away. The child is now missing. You helped a kidnapper take away someone's child. Me with the blood virus. My Jehovah Witness parents. They won't let me have a transfusion. That could save me. The voices are getting louder. Point of view. You've been forced to turn to crime to provide for your family, only for Spider-Man to web you to the side of a building and leave. No one's come to get you down, and the webs are beginning to dissolve. When you learn the cosmic death fungus is real and our species was doomed centuries ago because of some pigeons in a cave. Starting to feel good about your life after years of struggle. It starts getting bad again. You can't put your mom through that again. Keep smiling. I had no choice. I didn't want to do it. But after seeing his happily wagging tail and his blood-covered face jog towards me, looking for praise, expecting me to call him a good egg for what he had just done, I just snapped. I killed him in cold blood, emptied the entire magazine on him. I couldn't even recognize him afterwards. But I don't regret it. After seeing him eat the only joy I had left in my life, my only child alive, I have no regrets. I still hear the screams. Me watching the doctors trying to fix my broken leg and knowing that this will be their last day at work. They don't know what I am. Point of view, you closed your eyes for too long in the shower, it had a chance to sneak in. Oh, that's a pile of bison skulls, who were hunted to wipe out the Native American food source, and now they're about to be used for fertilizer. Do you pull the lever, killing 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 people, 1 person for every integer, resulting the infinite people dying? Or do you do nothing, allowing the trolley to kill 1 person for every real number? In both cases, infinite people die, but in the top case, the smallest possible infinity of people die, whereas in the bottom case, a larger infinity of people die. Some infinities are bigger than other infinities. What do you do? Me looking at the hacksaw in my shed. I just received my draft letter in the mail, and must now make a choice. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Oh, it's Mother Earth from 1990 experimental film Begotten. Point of view, you look at the ultrasound, tears forming in your eyes. You told your wife that a smoking addiction would kill your baby. It seems she didn't listen. When your feet have been soaking in salt water for 24 hours straight, and you see the serial killer bring a goat into the room. The year is 1913. You are accused of adultery and confined to a Mongolian prison coffin in the desert sun. You prolong your suffering, pleading for scraps, hoping for a empathetic God to hear your prayers. A wealthy Western banker appears. Surely he will show mercy. You jut your withered hand, pulling at the lock, pleading. I can't intervene, he says. He takes your picture and leaves you to your fate. You're a regular kid, meeting the new neighbor. You ask him what he does for a living. He makes movies. You like movies. Kid movies. He invites you over. You realize the kind of kid movies he makes. That feeling when you're casually scrolling down your feed and suddenly notice a bunch of people posting things like "I can't believe you're gone, and you will always be loved and remembered" on your best friend's page. Me watching an innocent Facebook live stream. Hey guys, I guess that's it. It's been a month. You thought the rescued stray that used to meow at your door got a new owner and forgot you. But while cleaning your house, you understood why it started to hiss at you, didn't react to your pss, and stayed away from you at the very last day. It wanted you to hate her. The police. Are you two friends? Me. If I could talk. No. The man at the bar who drugged me, carrying my limp body to his car. Yes. When you've been losing a ton of weight and the one night stand calls to tell you why. You buy a new paintball gun. You decide to shoot it at a wasp nest to destroy it. The wasps fly through your neighbor's open window and violently attack him. The neighbor dies from the wasp venom, and you get arrested for manslaughter. You are denied bail. Point of view, reincarnation is real. Wow, is this your room? It's so cool. Yay, just make sure to close the bathroom window after midnight. It's already 12:14, why shouldn't I? Teacher, you can't get jump scared by a still image. Me. Shampoo, rinse, apply conditioner. Rinse. A Datrax Mu 7HM. 5-year-old me. I fear no man. But that thing. My jacket at night. It scares me.